which is what we're talking about today. So, I don't like to sell as a common objection. Another common objection is other products. And we face that, you know, especially, there's a lot of health products out there, right? Yeah. You know, I mean, the local gym is a product. You know, there's all kinds of other workouts online or on TV that they can buy. There's all kinds of other, I could go into the local Circle K gas station and buy protein bars, right? Yeah. And there's other products from network marketing companies. So we face this one all the time. And the reality is this, you know, so many times we want to attack. Well, attacking provokes conflict, right? We're not on a mission to create more wars. We're not on a mission to attack anything. We're on a mission to disarm people so they're open to understanding more. So, you know, yeah, I don't know about that. I can see why you might like that. But what I do know is, you know, the people that are using this stuff are getting off meds and have a lot more energy and actually have found. And the other thing is this, man, stop selling products. Start selling what it does for them in their life, right? Yes. I mean, truthfully, like a lot of times, I don't even talk about the price. I talk about how incredible our team is. And even if you don't feel like you have a team, look around this room. You have a family of people that support you. You can say, you know what, I don't know. All I know is those protein bars don't come with this. All I know is those protein bars aren't working out on the Las Vegas Strip at 7 a.m. You know? I mean, so, does that make sense? The other thing is this. After you say it, ask a question. Does that make sense? You see me do this all the time. Does that make sense? Because once they say that it does, they're in agreement with you, and you can now successfully take them to enrollment. They just gave you a closing sign. When you say, give them that, I don't know, all I know is this, does that make sense? Yeah? Great. Why don't we get you enrolled? Get you started. All you have to do is bring them to agreement. You're the facilitator, bring them to agreement. So other products. You know, and then when you're bringing them to agreement, you might want to have a plan on how to do that. How many people you get to enrollment and you get like a little bit like nervous and like, oh, I don't know how to handle this now, right? A lot of people. And so we've got a way for that. And Barbie is a master at this, so I'm going to let her take it.
Awesome. That was great. And everything that was awesome, but we're not done yet, so we don't need to applause yet. But everything that we've spoken about applies to both using the challenge script for the products and enrolling people in the challenge, as well as a closing script for the opportunity. So in my little section, we're going to discuss closing for the business opportunity, and we're going to present an actual closing script. So if you can advance to the next slide. I love that the man controls the remote.
Just tell me what to do.
So, that's it. You know, yesterday in the general session, we were talking, you've heard the word, I know it's decide, commit, succeed, right? See, that was kind of iffy the way I said, I'm like, decide, commit, succeed. But something has happened at this summit, and what's the one word that keeps coming up? Commit, okay? That's belief. Once you know that you are going to make something happen, the rest doesn't matter. You're going to find a way. You don't need the roadmap, although we have the roadmap. This is it, using the scripts, being plugged in. So before we even introduce the 5 or 6 step script for closing, I want you to actually rate your own belief. On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you? Honestly, and be honest. Are you at a 10? Are you at a 5? If you're at a 5, you need to change that. When I became a coach, I grew up on welfare. I was super poor. I didn't believe that I could make money and help people. So I became a teacher. I was helping people, but I wasn't really making any money. I knew that I had to change that belief. And so I had been a coach for about 8 months, and I spoke to actually Mark Briggs. We were having a Skype session, and he said, Barbie, you guys know Mark Briggs? Really calm. And he was like, Barbie, I'm just a regular guy, really kind of monotone voice. I'm just a regular guy. If I could do it, you could do it. And the sky parted, I saw the little birds sing, and And I was like, I'm doing this. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. And ever since that day, I just knew. Josh Spencer, who's my personally sponsored coach, he said when he left Summit with you, he went home and he put it on the board, Top Coach 2010. He believed, and he said he saw it. When we had our team meeting the other day, he says he envisions a stadium full of team members. And he looked straight in the audience. He's like, I see it. And through his vision, I saw it. You need to believe. If you get on the phone or you're on Facebook even, because it's exactly like you say, the way you're showing up in real life is the way you're showing up on Twitter, the way you're showing up on Facebook. So if you don't believe, why would anyone trust you and sign up with you? So believe in the opportunity. You talked about posture, your body, the way you're coming across. When I get ready to get on the phone to close someone, that means to enroll them, to get them to sign up to be a coach, I check my posture. And I have this attitude, and actually it was Robert Hudgens. See, I'm dropping names, but I'm dropping names because I've gleaned things from everybody. Like I'm always learning, and he said, don't beg. And to me, I had been a coach for a year, and I was like, don't beg. I think for a while, I was begging. I had this posture of like,
how many people feel like they're beggars sometimes?
Be honest, right?
I was a beggar at first.
I was a beggar too. And then Robert,
over that.
Yeah, Robert, right. This is a privilege to be a Beachbody coach. It is a privilege. You want people that are going to build an organization with you, that are going to go and change lives. You don't need to beg. As soon as that entered my system, everything changed. So when I get on the phone, and sometimes I have I'm in my PJs, I work from home now, and my posture is, I'm gonna do this with or without you. And it's not a bad attitude, it's I'm gonna do this with or without you. This is amazing what I'm doing. And I'm gonna see if you would make a good part of my team. That's my attitude.
And you know what's amazing about that? That comes down to commit, right? How committed, she's saying, I'm committed to this for the long run, so whether you do that, I'm climbing this mountain, you can come or not. You can come or not, right? I got a guy, Luke, here, I've known him since he was 3, okay? We went to preschool together. He watched my transformation for 3 years, watched my life changing, and finally last October, after 3 friggin' years, and I didn't disappear,
Truth.
He shows up. And now his life is changing, he's changing our lives.
Yep.
Right? Your commitment, here's the thing, it's not about getting an immediate yes. It's about you staying around long enough that the seeds that you planted a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago start harvesting at some point.
Eventually they will sprout.
Eventually they will. So,
click.
Awesome. Absolutely.
There's power.
You just got me jacked up right there. So
if you can click, awesome. Okay, so we've been talking about the script. I'm going to introduce you to the script. That's 20% of it. That's like the last. That's the last thing that you do. And you were just actually talking about that. Before you actually get to that point where you tell them or you ask them, hey, you know what, I thought of you. Do you want to hear about the Beachbody Challenge? Or, I think you'd make a great coach. Do you want to hear about this? You need, and I'm using Danny Johnson's term, to form. You need to find out who they are. And how do you do that? You ask questions. Who are you? And sometimes I really ask the question. It happened to me yesterday. Somebody found me on Facebook. He's like, wait, what's this coaching thing, And I'm like, I'm in Vegas right now. I'll get back to you tomorrow. But I'm like, who are you? Tell me everything. That's all I needed to ask. And I got this long email, okay? Sometimes that's all you need to ask. But we get so hungry, and raise your hand if you've been guilty of this, that somebody mentions needing to get in shape or Shakeology or something about coaching, and you're like, there's business opportunity, there's Queen IDX, and then here's a link, and here's where you could purchase, and then are you guilty of that? I have been guilty of that too. And so you need to slow down, and you need to be genuinely interested in people. Get to know about their family. If they have 2 children, 3 children, 4 children, you know, and they have a job, chances are that time is going to be an issue. So the script that we're going to talk about in a few minutes is about prevention of objections. You want to see, I'm going to try this because I never say this, write this down. You are going to see if the opportunity, your opportunity, can fill a need that they have. How will you know if this business is right for them? How will you know if this challenge or Shakeology is right for them if you don't know anything about them? If you just jump down their throat with a link, the product, the business. You were going to say?
You know, when you spend time informing, here's the thing. People, 95% of people suck because they don't ask anybody questions about the other person.
Me.
You know, and it's about me. Everybody's favorite topic is me, right? And so when you become the person that slows down and asks questions surrounding their family, surrounding their occupation, surrounding what they do for fun or recreation, right? If you just take time to learn about them, you've already elevated yourself into this upper friendship level of people.
Yes.
People they trust. You've elevated their trust. You now become a trusted friend rather than a slicky salesperson.
Yes.
Right? How many people have had, maybe you've had a conversation with one of the top people in the network, maybe even me or Barbie, and we've slowed down and asked you some questions about your life. You know? Look at those hands up, right? When we're in conversation with you, it's more about you than it is about us. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals.
Be interested.
Okay? And generally be interested, because when you're interested, you start discovering these things. They're
goals, needs, desires, and strengths. So I actually have an example on Facebook of me connecting with someone, being interested in them. What I saw happening with my team, and I'm glad that I saw this, is because we were able to correct it. We have the 5-step challenge script. And so what some coaches were doing because of lack of experience was they were going straight into the script, straight into, hey, there's this Beachbody challenge, 90-day challenge. Do you want to hear more about it? Well, what was happening? The emails were being deleted, they were being ignored, and we were able to troubleshoot what was the problem. That no one was connecting, get to know people, be genuinely interested in them. People love to talk about themselves. This is not about you, it's about them. And so really quickly...
Can I give you one resource? John Maxwell has an audio or a book, it's called Everybody Speaks, Few Connect. And you want to get that.
What's the name again?
John Maxwell. Okay, I believe it's called Everybody Speaks, Few People Connect.
Yep.
Is that what it is? Sure.
It's great.
I just bought the audio and I've been listening to it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is everything we're talking about. So get that and study that.
Yep.